Hey, hi, how you doing? Come on in, sit on down, because we're back with another Wuthering Waves video. And it's going to be about 3.5, the hotly contested, widely loved, oftentimes misconstrued quest. I know there's varying degrees of opinions out there, and I just figured, hey, I'll give you mine. So that's why, first of all, you probably guessed by the notes here, I do have some notes. It was going to be a full scripted video, but I'll be honest, I'm a little bit pressed for time with other stuff and also real life issues, so we're just going to be doing it like this. So please forgive the abrupt cuts here and there. It's not going to be the perfect video, that's why the comment section's there. So if you have any questions or you want to add more, we can discuss it there, we can talk one-on-one. Right. And also, big shout out to Ruben925 for having the full playthrough. It is quite long, it'll be 5 hours, 40 minutes. You're probably wondering, what did I think of it? Well, when I was playing it, I still very much enjoyed it to an extent. I am not a big lover of it. I'm not going to give it a rating out of 10 because I would much rather just tell you what I liked and what I didn't like, rather than being, yeah, it was like a 7 out of 10, or, yeah, it was a 4 out of 10, it wasn't that good, or, I've got to, I'm going to play a clip soon. It's so funny. This might be my favorite clip of Wuthering Waves. It is so good in like all the wrong ways. It's so funny and it gets me every time. But we are going to talk about some things. I think this quest did a lot of things right. And if we just go in here, let it rock. It's what you expect from Wuthering Waves quest to an extent. Now it is an introductory quest, so that leads itself to being very world heavy, or maybe lore heavy, a lot of exposition. More on that later on. Because there is one character I think was somewhat wasted in that regard. And it was with Liang Yu, by the way. So, if we just go back here. Let's talk about the presentation for a start. Okay, let's talk about the presentation. So, we got the letter here. And I want to go back to the graduation. Graduation, where was it again? It was around about here. So we got the first graduation, like the big fake out. We're saying goodbye. It's only those three. I was a little bit shocked. I was like, huh. The Renesita finale or farewell had more emotion than this. Which, by the way, yes, I'm much. We all know this by now. It's no secret. I adored Renesita's entire quest line. I really do. I still think 2.5 is the best. 2.5. 2.2 is the best Wuthering Waves quest of all time. But that's personal opinion, personal preference, okay? The 10 out of 10 story quest is not going to be better than the 7 out of 10 story quest that resonated with you. And that one did, and I just liked it more. It's, once again, personal preference. Anyway, so we just keep going here. I believe it was round about... Oh, God, where was it again? Ah, yeah, during all this scene... Well, maybe not this scene. But there was one particular scene with Chisa. Ah, here we go. Chisa. By the way, funny as fuck. God forbid a girl crushes on a man. And that man being a rover. Who wouldn't? I know you are. I know you're thirsty ass looking at Rover going, God damn. Gotta give me a piece of that ass. Come on. But yeah, it looks phenomenal. It looks fantastic. Nobody's ever denying this about Wuthering Waves. Nobody's gonna sit there and go, it didn't really look that good. It does. It does have some issues in that regard, which we will get into. And like when they do the animated cutscenes like this, or like animated motion pictures, or like the pictures, it works. It's good. I go, where's a good example? Like this. Looks beautiful. Looks nice. It's just more on this in a moment. I want to play the clip. So, because I'm talking about this, and I didn't even finish my first point. I didn't really think it was the 10 out of 10 quest people expect. I'll be 8 out of 10. I think it was good. I think it has more good points than bad points. Unfortunately, the bad point, or my main bad point that I have, which is the pacing, which we'll get into later on, is enough to make me go, ooh. And I'm talking about Act 1, by the way. Act 2, I really enjoyed. In fact, I say really enjoyed. I do have my playthrough there, Act 2, all live. And I guess we're just going to do this now. It's the Saint Crash Out clip. Okay, I love this clip. I adore this clip. We're going to watch it again. If you've seen it, it's hilarious. There's a lot more. But I want to focus on this part, mostly because as well, it has this. And I think this was wasted. And we're going to get back to this pretty soon, but I feel like this could have been a lot more. Rather than, oh yeah, we're just going to clear Rover's line in one setting. One sitting, and then we're going to clear Shui Shui's line, Shuo Shuo, you want to say it. I say Shui Shui because Shui, or Shui if you're a Ronaldo fan. And then you cleared that in one go. And it just really didn't really hit me. I would have liked it, because you also get this little part where it's like, okay, this happened 3 days ago, which we talk about 3 days ago. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Hold up, where was it? It's right about here. We talk about 3 days ago. This is what happened 3 days ago. It was the big Yang chicks here having a fight, and they get separated outside the big gates of Zhuangfeng Hold. I believe this whole area is Zhuangfeng Hold rather than Mingting, Menjo. But there's a lot of words I'm butchering. I'm fully aware. It's not difficult to know. It's just if you don't pay attention or are paying attention, you're going to miss out on some stuff. And yeah, my ADHD ass brain was kind of like, wait a minute, where are we right now? Anyway, no, so I want to play this clip, okay? This is, I'm so excited for this. Okay, here we go.
Pick Sui Sui first. This is what I'm gonna do. Are you ready? I'm gonna close the game because I'm not playing that shit anymore. I'm fucking sorry. How about that? That's what I'm going to fucking do. Because this is genuinely the most unplayable quest I've ever seen in the even want to get slight
It is not bad enough to where you're going, I'm gonna close the fucking game. And then, keep the game open. Like, I love it so much. And just this as well. A little temper tantrum, like.
If this guy's in my chat, permanently ban him. If this guy's in my chat, just permanently ban him.
And you know he's not. You know this person isn't in my chat. So. But yeah, no, it's just this line here. God, that's so funny. I'm gonna close the fucking game. Like, right? Let's move on. So, with the returning characters, we'll talk about returning characters first. So you probably saw this big section here. Once we've left Laharoy, we go back. We meet some old heads. Zhezhe, Chixia, Baiji, Zhang Liao. Oh, God, what's it? We don't see Mortefi yet. What was it? Yeah, we keep going. Hold up. Oh yeah, that's we meet Sanhua, Jinshi's here, which this is also very important. We see Shui Shui for the first time, and then like it adds the mystique. It's like, okay, how is she tied in the story? Sadly, we already know about that because they spelled it beforehand with the reveals. But it's still kind of like, how is Shui Shui going to come into play in this quest? And I do have, oh yeah, he's fast as fuck, by the way. I do have some other complaints, which we will get to later on. But it's like here with Baiji. Now, my big complaint was, as much as it's nice having returning characters from 1.x, having returning characters back in the story, they felt to me like they were just thrown in there for people to go, oh, it's Baiji. Oh, shit. I was a big fan of that. I wish it kind of served a purpose. Like, see, I wish we got more of the scene with Chixia, and like more, scene of Chixia and she's just comatose. But I would have liked a little bit more. The only person I think really served any value coming back was Zhang Liao. And that is because he has ties to the court of Savante, which gets referenced pretty on. It's like it builds upon the lore as well. And he talks about Zhuangfeng Hold. He gives you that prior information before going there so you know what to expect. And I feel like he's the only person who comes back who serves the purpose of, hey, we're important and there's a reason we're back rather than just being fan service. And that's what a lot of the people coming back felt like, just fan service. That said, I mean, Jinshi also played a big role, kind of. She's how we get there. And it makes sense why Jinshi doesn't come with us and Shui Shui has to go. Because the threat of Overthrax, the Frenodian, is still possibly relevant. And Jinshi has to stay there. And you see there as well. They're talking about Mengzhou Sentinel Shin. It's weird, by the way, Shin instead of Hisin. So that was just fair warning, it's Shin. Like the kneecap, or below the kneecap. And yeah, we keep going there. And then we get Shui Shui, and just the playful... She was a breath of fresh air, by the way. Really enjoyed her character from all of it. And we also get the flashback to be like... It's just letting you know as well how important Yang Yang is to Wuthering Waves. And I'm going to be honest, I said this in my live playthrough, I'm going to say it again. If you don't care about Yang Yang, or you find Yang Yang boring, or you don't resonate with Yang Yang, yes, pun there, you're not going to really care about the quest as much when it's focused on Yang Yang. And sadly, that did happen to an extent. When it was interesting, but it wasn't interesting because of Yang Yang. It was interesting because it's a new region. I really enjoyed that. So we keep going. Yeah, it's not about presentation. In fact, there was another scene as well, presentation-wise, where I want to try and find it. It was the introduction here. Okay, just listen to this as well as the music. Well, the music can't be stressed enough. Okay, just take a look at this.
Let's press on.
I mean, it keeps going as well.
So, Feng hold.
Whoops.
It does look.
So we keep going as well. And we get even more of the landscape. And the music's still going, by the way. Like, presentation-wise, presented beautifully. And it just looks amazing. And for a new introduction region quest, holy shit.
Only it's hard to tell.
And I know they teased it before, being like, oh yeah, here's some of the new regions, so we want to get you, buffered before you get in there. But actually playing it, actually seeing it firsthand with your own hands-on experience in the patch, it's completely different. You can't beat that feeling. So, and like an introductory quest-wise, or an introduction to the region, it looks beautiful. It really is. And one of the big problems, I say problems, it's not going to be prevalent now, but it will be prevalent later, is it's all well and good telling you, oh, this information, or like X information, oh, Y happened, it's like Z is happening because of this reason. No, it's just better showing you. And that's going to happen in the village section with Yang Yang and Liang Yu. Which was kind of where I got really bored to an extent, and that was because it was doing this problem of storytelling. Now, I say that like it's a bad thing, and it was to an extent, like, you have to tell the story, okay? But there's different ways you can tell it. And storytelling and presentation go hand in hand. Okay, you could have the most mid-story possible. In fact, you could have a bad story. If it looks amazing, it's going to offset some of that. And unfortunately, it didn't really happen. So, we keep going here. And then we get a little more communications, blah, blah, blah. It's just more Shui Shui lore here. And it was round about Liang Yu. So we meet Liang Yu. And you're already kind of... I was already a little bit worried here. And it was because it's the first new character we meet from this region, from this area. And I was worried they're going to become the exposition dumper. They're going to be fated to that role of, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know at this moment when you need it. And sadly, that's exactly what happened, rather than just being, oh, it'd be easier if I show you. And it's like, okay, what's the issue with the auto puppets? And it's a case of, oh, they're running wild. And rather than telling you why they speculate they're running wild, why they're doing it, and the damage they're causing, it would have been better if they just showed you what's happening. And unfortunately, they tell you and then show you, because you get attacked, you get the combat. Which is nice. It's a way to keep you engaged, being like, oh, by the way, there's a combat section now. But it just kind of feels cheap. If that makes sense. It's kind of cheap. Like, I don't mind it here, the exposition dump, because, you know, it's for Lauren one. Like, Senshiko, she's talking here. She's mentioned for the first time the auto puppets being stationary started to, you know, go nuts. And more on that later. And it was just, so you don't mind it here because, okay, it's warranted. But then it keeps happening, In fact, where is the... Like, we get this whole scene with Yang Yang, and I wish it focused more on Yang Yang. A big prop, by the way, I want to give this quest. A big prop was the quest itself didn't really focus on the rover. Now, I am one of those people who used to find a problem with the rover. Unfortunately, now they happen to have worked on him, gave him not just a personality or expanded on the personality he had, but they've made him quite likable with character growth, all the way from 2.2, dare I say even 2.2. No, 2.2. I remember from 2.5 with the full over incident, but even before that with 2.2. Rather than just being a hype, just by being an aura merchant and hype moment enthusiast. And what was I talking about there? I was too busy I was going to make a soul leveling joke, but we've already heard that before. So, once again, we're still getting lore here. And it was just the case with the rover of, I like it because it's all about Yang Yang. Saying that I've said earlier, I'm not a big fan of Yang Yang. It's nice getting a different perspective, following that different perspective of the rover. Now, I think there is a balance to be had with the rover. And I think they hit it in this quest. I think the balance with the rover is good. Because he was in it enough to where you know what he's going through, you know what he's dealing with, you know what he's doing to try and find Yang Yang. But it's not constantly following him. And then Yang Yang, like these little snippets of Yang Yang, like, no, it actually follows Yang Yang fully. She is, I would argue, the MC of this patch. Which makes sense because she's on the banner, so they want to try and sell her. And it was just, you could see it there. It's all happening. And where was the... Yeah, so you got all the village section. So it keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going. We get more exposition dumps. Oh, I don't want to talk about the song, by the way, that keeps playing. But I'll talk about the song very briefly. It didn't hold emotional weight for me. Or it didn't invoke that emotional response because they just kept using it. I think they used it maybe 5-6 times before. Oh, that 6th time was the big reveal with the transformation scene at the end. Which, by the way, I think it's a very bad decision to include the rover getting a new form or a new element and Yang Yang getting a new transformation. Just because you're not going to out aura farm the rover. The rover is just... There's a reason everyone makes those jokes. You're not beating it. Okay, you're just not. So I think that was a really weird decision to make, but... You know, it also kind of worked. You have to give we have to give the people who don't really play the story, or play Wuthering Waves for the story, a reason to kind of engage with the story. It's just like a cool moment. And granted, it has cool moments. I actually really liked this as well. This is just another thing I really want to praise. I don't think it got talked about enough. It was... You actually get to see Yang Yang scout like she does in the Midnight Rangers. Like, you actually get to see Yang Yang strategize, and I like seeing that. I wish we got it more, not like with the rover, but with other characters as well when we follow their perspectives. Like, you see Yang Yang. And also, it also builds on her forte. Like, she can listen and hear the flow of the wind. And, like, get gleams information from that. I don't know too much because, once again, Yang Yang, I'm not a big confused. I know just enough to be like, yeah, her forte has something to do with the wind. That's why she can see the past. Or she can see echoes of the past because it's carried through the wind. It remains there. And it's just, I liked this section. It's just another cool thing to do. But yeah, we go back to the village here. The problem with the village, and we're going to go back to presentation here, and that's why I think the pacing fell off. Because this is a slow moment, right? This is the slow section. But because it's not animated, or I say animated, I don't mean like animated, like it's not some cool anime cutscene. It's more so, it's just static models in a non-moving environment. The only thing that's really moving is that bird. There's one thing, Zhuangling bird. And more on that in a moment. It was just this. And we keep going. We knock on the door, and it's just... Yeah, I don't really think it worked, for me at least. You even see it with... Like, we get this, and it's like, okay, we're back to this. Hopefully it kind of stays like this. But... Kind of... Like, this is cool for talking. I would kind of fast forward a little bit. Like, you see illusions of the past. I kept making that joke, by the way. Oh, sorry about that. And then we get the big sword. And then you get the bit in the past, which I was like, oh my god, it's Liang Yu. She's from 200 years old. I had my own theories, by the way. And that theory was, everybody in Zhuangfeng Hold is a reverberation of the past. And the reverberations are keeping this place alive. And the reason we can see it is because Yang Yang's forte is making it being able to be seen. Turns out I was completely wrong. It's actually its own civilization in there. Because it's on the border between Jinzhou and Mengzhou. It's the gorges of spirits and I can't remember the other place. But this is the corral of the tacit discords, and I'm going to say I kind of called the big twist. And the big twist was they take tacit discords, and maybe I was wrong actually. But I was saying, oh, they take tacit discords and they put them in the auto puppets. And the auto puppets are going crazy. And to be honest, I don't really remember. I'm pretty sure it's something to do with Muyu. I know that. In fact, we're going to see more. But like just this here, it would have been nice. But once again, it's just... I don't know. It's just a lot of standing around, really just talking for the sake of talking. I wasn't a big fan. We've established this. We're going to move on. Like, if you enjoyed it, it's great. It's great for world building. It's great for building on the lore of what you already know and what you're going to see in the future. I just wish there was times where they didn't keep repeating that, if that makes sense. So, what else did I have written down here? Oh yeah, Yang Yang. I'm pretty sure I talked about Yang Yang there as well. This has already gone on for like 23 minutes, so I'm going to try and keep it a little bit shorter. So Yang Yang, we still get more of Yang Yang, by the way. And we get this whole section here, which is fine. We get the letter and then more about Liang Yu. I also liked Liang Yu. I'll talk about this a little bit more. So Liang Yu, I liked... She reminds me of Hyde Marie from Seas Again, if you've played Chaos Zero Nightmare. It was a case of... She's the last of her position. I believe what she called her, Zhuangfeng, or the Zhuang Warden. Zhuangfeng Warden. Also, this guy just died because he was tired. It's kind of cringe, if we're going to be honest. But this just highlights the struggles they're going through. It's just a constant battle for survival all the time. And it's wearing and driving down the people. But with and it's all called prevalent with Liang Yu because she kind of has to bear that responsibility. But her whole Liang Yu, God, I'm tired of hearing all this Zhuan, and I'm so sorry. So Liang Yu, there we go, we got it right. So Liang Yu's whole thing is, I'm in this position of power. I am not the right person. Why am I the person who survived? I think that is much more interesting and a lot more enjoyable for her character than just being, I'm the last person in my position. I'm the last line of defense. I have to go out there and protect the people. But I'm going to explain everything that Yang Yang needs me to explain, and also to the rover. And that's kind of what I feel like they delegated Liang Yu to, which is why I'm hopeful for 3.5. We get more Liang Yu, and this time, we dive more into that. We get to see more of her come into that role and bear the responsibilities and the burdens and become at peace with that. Yeah, so talk about Yang Yang. What else was it? Oh yeah, Muyu. Oh, kind of obvious he was a bad guy. I also think this is the first time we saw an awakening. Oh yeah, this was the... Well, more of that hype moment in a sec. Where was the section with Yang Yang? I don't think it was here. There was one section that I thought was really amazing. I don't think it was the sound of singing. It was... Ah, yes, here it is. So we get Muyu for the first time. And he's talking about the Senshin Courts and already the most sus-looking motherfucker of all time. You know, like 2 different colored eyes, a white streak in the hair, so you can tell he's old, by the way. It was this section. We keep going. Let's just skip forward. Yeah, like a lot of dump, by the way. A lot of dumping. I should leave it a note there. It was this section here. Now, everything that happened in that scene, I glossed over it. Recommend checking out Ruben's playthrough if you... Sorry, not Ruben. One moment. Highly recommend checking out Rubhun925. Watch it be pronounced Ruben. I'm sorry I forgot that name wrong. Highly recommend checking it out if you want to just reacquaint yourself with it. But I thought this was great. I thought all of this, and this little section here where you can... This was underutilized, and we're going to go back to the Saint clip real quick. It was underutilized by going back in the past. I feel like we could have done more with the time travel aspects. Because we get 3 days ago, then 2 days ago, then the present day. What would have been nice is like, okay, this is what happened 3 days ago morning. And then you have to go back to 2 days ago at night. And then you have to keep jumping back. Could it be confusing? Yes, but I think they can pull it off. I don't think it's too hard to pull off not making it confusing. So we keep going. I really like this. I hope we see more of this. There's one thing I want to praise Wolverine Waves for, and Kuro Games to an extent. I don't know if you do it with PGR, so please, if any PGR players are out there, let me know. They're not afraid to try new ways to present the story. Like this is just the 2D scroller section. And you keep going there, you get it again. You even get a cool fight scene with it. We even get combat during this, which the background looks amazing. And for all of this, he's talking as well. You kind of get a glimpse of... And once again, it's building on the lore as well. It's building on, like, the Shin lore. And that's really what I wanted to talk about. You know, I brought it up. Let's go mention it now. Here is the Rover's epic transformation scene. Here is the big moment, right? This is going to tie into Sweet Sweet, by the way. So, you ready?
This was never meant for you to wield.
Come on. He's walking to it. Look. That's my fucking MC right there. How do you out-aura that? He's walking into lightning. Come on.
You must be ready to bear the cost. And never, ever forsake this city.
Come on, even in this. So suave. How do you out-aura that? And I'll show you the big scene with Yang Yang. Or if you prefer Yap Yap, there's also the villain monologuing. Like, I liked the build-up to it, don't get me wrong. But it was cool. I'm not going to tell you how to do that, experience for yourself. But here is, I guess, the big scene. And this ties into, I should probably explain as well with Muyu. This ties in with what he's doing, and that is basically manipulating and he's pulling an Aizen. He's pulling a Sugetsu, or the Kyoku. What size is this thing called? Hold up. So I've just checked it up. It is in fact the Kyoku Sugetsu, and that's what he's doing. He's basically pulling an Aizen. He's manipulating the reverberations of people, or the machines, to attack the people. And more of that motivation in a sec. I do actually like what Muyu did. I like the inclusion of Muyu in this quest. And that's why you keep seeing Yang Yang as a tacit discard there. And she's going through all this, loses the hat again, like, I don't know, glue it to your head. It does take a while, but
I have nothing to offer you in return, so I give you my song.
and it keeps going back to that song, and I feel like the song loses something because it keeps being replayed. I know it's important, absolutely, but the more you try and emphasize its importance, the more you lose that importance. Because it's no longer the viewer, the audience, you realizing and coming to the conclusion yourself of, oh my god, the song is important, or this thing is important. It's, okay, so now it's become important. You're expecting it to have an importance rather than it just being important. I will say as well, the song isn't nearly as hype as the music that plays for Rover. I think that plays a big part of it as well. And I realize I'm trying to compare an apple to an orange here. But they serve two different purposes. This is all about Yang Yang trying to calm the, like, for lack of better terms, soothe the souls of the dead. Or she's trying to soothe everybody. Whereas Rover is trying to be badass. that's such an injustice. He's trying to save people. He's trying to save Yang. He's trying to save people that are important to him. And not just Yang Yang. He would have saved that. He would have done that for anybody. Because that's just the kind of person Rover is. And we know that now. First year she was called Ling Yang as well. She's the ancestor for Liang Yu. So yeah, we get this. Forgot I didn't have music playing there for a moment. The 2D animation style, perfect. And this is going to factor into what I said earlier. Personal preference, okay? Obviously, I like the Rover, so I think the Rover's scene was way cooler. That doesn't detract from the fact that Yang Yang's was also really fucking cool. And speaking of Muyu, we go back to his whole motivation section. And I'm really saving Shui Shui for last, by the way, because Shui Shui is a very contentious point for me. It's a point where I'm like, maybe. We'll see. Like, maybe it was right, maybe it was wrong. And we saw it, so his whole thing is, the Sentinels suck. Okay, he's come to that conclusion by himself. He's like, why would the Sentinels care about humanity? And obviously, he's at direct conflict and with odds at the Rover, because the Rover knows the Sentinels care for humanity. He can only go off his Shin. And this cut ties back into what Shin said earlier with Rover's scene here, where she's like, never ever forsake this city. If the Sentinel Shin didn't care about humanity, why would she tell the Rover to never forsake the city? And it's just, we get that insight that Muyu doesn't have. He's talking here, he's questioning everything, trying to make Yang Yang question everything. Yeah, not the design, not their internal structure, nor where they obtain knowledge that eclipses all human understanding. And the great thing about Muyu is, and I was wrong at first, because I was like, oh great, another Fraxidus member, blah blah blah. I was like, oh, it all ties back to the Fraxidus. Oh, great. It does, but it also doesn't. And it's because he has the backing of the Fraxidus. And they're using him, but he doesn't think that. He thinks he's using them. And you can tell, you know that's going to be his downfall, like his hubris. But the fact that he doesn't outright say, I'm with the Fraxidus, he's using them. Because he's from the Zojun Atelier. I'm saying that wrong, I said Jojo Atelier because it just felt easier. But he's with the Zojun Atelier, he left that. He's 200 years old, he's been around for a while. And he's gone on this whole thing of, I don't like the Sentinels anymore. What can they do for humanity? Clearly, they never cared about us. And yeah, like, look at this scene here, like, that's incredible. Once again, the presentation. It's just, it's so good. But yeah, no, I like Muyu for that reason. It was just, it's nice not having the Fraxidus be an issue. Like, Fraxidus is still important to the story, they're still the main villains, but it's nice having a break from them. It's implied that the Fraxidus are behind it, but we know that he is really behind it. He just might have the backing of the Fraxidus because he's trying to, you know, use them and whatnot. So we go for the last point here, and I put the Shui Shui story section. I am a firm believer that this should have been split into 2 patches. It should have been Yang Yang's all of this, and then for Shui Shui. But Shui Shui's section is like only like 40 minutes long, so it's not even like a seg quest length. So, round about here, and we see it from the... We'll go back to the clip real quick. We see it from here, you see Shui Shui's line. Okay, so this is the moment where we get Shui Shui's line. Ignore these two, I was just making a comparison before, I've got to delete them. This is when we get Shui Shui. And I feel like this should have been part 2, and the reason I say that is because when we're Rover, oh, better yet, if we go back to the Rover's scene, okay? Where is it, she says? We get Dumpling, the name of the bird. So Dumpling comes, here it is. Oh, that's Shui Shui's bird. Now, I did Shui Shui's line first because I was a lot more interested and invested to see where that goes. Just because I was also enjoying not having to deal with the, follow the Rover's path again. Saving a play because I also knew this whole Aura Farm scene was going to happen. I think it would serve better if we get this, and then it's not mentioned, or we don't see how it happens, and then we get Shui Sui's perspective. Because now it's just a case of, what's really keeping you from being invested in Shui Shui for Phase 2? Other than just being like, oh, she looks really cool. Oh, she's Shorekeeper 2. Like, she's the next Shorekeeper. We already have Shorekeeper Morday. Like, anyway. So this whole section here, and we meet Jigrin as well. That's also pretty cool. Excited to pull for him. I'm going to get him. He looks cool. He reminds me of Flynn's from Genshin Impact. Except, he doesn't sound, in fact. Hold up. Sorry, he's Cat from the Neverrise.
Don't tell me you don't recognize the man you hired. What? Trust issues? Come on, look at my gourd. That'll prove it.
Listen, Alejandro Sab, we all know this is you, okay? Don't try and hide him. So, we keep going. And I liked this because we also see... It ties back to what she talked about with Jinshi in the past. Oh, before, when Rover goes to see Chixia. See, she's like, I would like to stay behind and have a word. I'll catch up with you later. And we see what happened there. I think this would have been better in Phase 2, separate from this quest, just to add more, add more importance, just to kind of dive a little bit deeper into Shui Shui. And also, that way, you can really dedicate time to, I guess, fix the pacing issues. I hate using the term pacing issues, because it just says, oh yeah, I thought this was slower at times, or I thought this was faster at times, but I don't know how else to describe it. So, there we are. And then we keep going here. It's like this whole section was nice and all. And clearly it's not meant to be played in a full day. Okay, in fact, I split this up over 2 days, and rightly so. I did Act 1, then Act 2. But that's the way you do it. But I was a little bit confused by this, and I think it's because they have it. But it would have been nice if they could just dive a little bit more into it. Expand on this whole... This is just a simulation that Shin's created to really drive home something to Suishui, but I don't really know what. It was kind of confusing to me, at least. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, but it's highly likely. And we get this whole thing. Oh yeah, this was all just designed to suck the rover's dick, which, as a certified rover glazer, peak as fuck. In fact, we're going to see it here, right? Wait for it. There he is. He comes down like a lightning bolt. Bam! Rover. It just felt like it would have been better in Phase 2. Personally, that's all I got to say, really. Like, it looks beautiful, by the way. And it's just also having, like, the whole back and forth here. I wish we had a little bit more of this back and forth. But obviously, due to time constraints with the quest length, they had to really confine it. This is such an interesting part that I wish was longer. And not just so he could explain more things, but it could just add more things, and we could just stay in this part longer. And, like, it can dive a little bit deeper into the simulation side of things. And I think that should have been Phase 2. I really do. Anyway, that's really it. That's really all I've got. Also, Shin is just gorgeous. Oh my god. But no, like I said, that was really weird to say that. It's not like Evan Almighty, but that's really all I've got. Just, it was a fine quest. It wasn't perfect, but it didn't need to be. For an introductory quest, I still think 2.0 was better. I do still think 2.0 was better. But that was just because I thought everything flowed nicely. But that's just personal preference, personal opinion. We're all going to think differently. But this was phenomenal. Okay, I will say it was phenomenal for the world building, the lore building, and everything. Some of the things that bogged it down, which we talked about. Thank you for sticking around too long. This has already been like 43 minutes. Holy shit, I am so sorry. Hopefully you've stuck around long enough to hear everything. Like, comment, subscribe if you like this. Stick around for more Wolverine Waves content. We're going to be making more. Very excited for the future. Can't wait for 3.6. 3.6 is going to be even better. And I can't wait. This was never going to live up to the Laharoy past quests of like 3.1, 3.3, 3.4. Yeah, this was never going to live up to those quests. But it does its best. And I think its best was good enough. And so with that, yeah, guess I'll catch you in the next one. Stay refreshing.